Okay, work continuing on my NT700 2010 fuel starvation problems. I didn't know it was fuel starvation. I didn't know what it was, but I'm pretty sure that's what it was, because here is the fuel pump. It sits like this through the bottom of the fuel tank, and I got a lot of this stuff in a fuel filter. Let me get it. Can't find it. That's not where I thought it was. Anyway, now I'm going to start, now that this stuff has dried, I'm going to start disassembling this and scraping this stuff, whatever it is, away from my fuel filter. It doesn't take much. This stuff is like talc powder. I could see how this would blob up and clog the fuel filter, no matter how fine it was. I guess this is a rough filter, to keep out the rocks and the birds, and this is probably protecting the real fine filter at the bottom. I don't know, I've never had one of these apart. But trying to use something that's not that sharp to go probing around with. Finally got a nice day here. I think it's December 15th, and the temperature's in the 50s. Anyway, I believe this was the mystery, the problem that left me stranded on the side of the road for the first time in decades. I believe this stuff is, I bought this from a guy in his late 70s. He bought the bike new in 2010. And when I bought it, it only had 7,500 miles on it in the first week of November here, 2023. And his logbook, which he kept a pretty detailed log in the area, the space provided in the service manual, not the service, the owner's manual. And his last entry was 2015. That's when he did his last oil change. And the mileage at his last oil change was in the 6,000 range, and the bike only had 7,500 miles on it when I bought it. So the bike's been sitting 7, almost 8 years. And that's why he put stabilizer in the fuel. I guess he thought it would save it from evaporating or concentrating or whatever, but I'm pretty confident that that's what the problem is. I watched a video that nobody has a video of disassembling one of these that I could find on YouTube, and this is supposedly, well, it is. It's the same fuel filter on this NT700 and on the 700 or 750 Shadow and on the GL 1800 Goldwing. So that's a pretty standard Honda fuel pump. The OEM filter I looked on eBay, they're like $500. This whole assembly is over $1,000 with the fuel gauge and this filter, however complicated or complex it is, and the fuel pump and this whole mess here. But hopefully I don't think I need a fuel pump. So anyway, I just wanted to pass along what I'm running into here. That's what I'm running into. And my fuel filter that I made up with a 12-volt fuel pump that I bought on eBay for $8 or $9. Then I put a see-through gasoline filter in line, and I cycled over and over and over the fuel through that filter and then back into the tank over and over. Because this is the fuel, this is what it looked like when I just did a test siphon into this bottle. That stuff is what was laying in the bottom. It almost looks organic, and I just got my hands covered with gas. I hate that. And that's what it looks like dried. So I don't know that I'm going to leave gasoline sitting in my gas tanks anymore. I'm going to use that little fuel pump that I made up with a filter on it. I'm going to draw all the fuel out of my 3 lawnmowers and out of my 3 motorcycles, and I'm going to put them in a can, and I'm going to put them in my car or my truck, because this is ethanol, 10% gasoline here in the United States. And I just heard bad news watching Jay Leno the other day do a YouTube video about stabilizers. He was in favor of them, but what he said was that they are considering going to 15% ethanol in the fuel. It's almost as though they don't want, it's almost as though they're going to backdoor force people to go electric lawnmowers, electric weed whackers, electric leaf blowers, electric motorcycles, electric cars. I don't know. I guess the old saying, when you got them by the balls, their hearts and minds will follow. And that would do the trick. I am looking for the fuel pump. I don't really need it. I have it in another video, if you care to see the contraption I made. But anyway, now I'm going to give this a little shot. You know what? I'm going to give this a brush. I think a brush would do the trick. See what this does. Yeah, it's doing something. I just don't want to breathe this crap. See, I'm putting dust in the air. My fuel gauge worked. These are handy. I bought 50 of these on eBay for something like $9, and I gave each of my sons 10 of them. Oh! Anyway, it looks like I have to I should plug that gas inlet. It looks like, how does this come apart? Well, anyway, I'm going to be taking out the I'm going to be taking this part off. Looks like just 1, 2, 3, 4 reed and prince or number 1 Phillips screws. And I'm going to take some pictures of it so that I can get it back together. Anyway, that's what I'm up to right now. Because it's a nice day that I should be riding instead of doing this. But I just thought for those people that might be interested, this is very similar to the Goldwing fuel pump. Yes, when I did the rear shock upgrade on my Goldwing, my GL 1800, no, I didn't have to pull the fuel pump. I just had to disconnect the quick disconnect to get the fuel tank out. Right. That was a 7-hour job to put, just to get the shock out and put it back in on my GL 1800, because the fuel tank, which is under the seat down there, is shaped like a child's coffin. I think it's 7 gallons. It was covering the top bolt of the shock. And I followed the GL 1800 Honda official service manual. And that was a bear to get at. Anyway, that's what's up today. I'll give you updates as I go along. I'll see you there.